Would you like to tell our viewers just a little bit about why you're here today?
Yeah, I'm here today, and I was here yesterday to show solidarity for those 16 jailed climate activists that have been given unduly long sentences. There's an appeal being heard here. The mission is to get those sentences reduced and also send a clear message to any future cases that they must have that enshrined right to tell any jurors why they took the action that they did, and those jurors must retain the enshrined right to be able to acquit on the basis of their conscience. And those two things have been in question in recent times. So, we're talking about climate protesters, and that's where my heart lies. But the laws that have been punitive and have punished them so severely would impact on anyone that seeks to protest at any point in the future. So we're standing up here now not just for those climate protesters, but and it sounds like overblowing it, but for democracy in the UK. You know full well that we have a long-standing tradition for non-violent direct action in this country, which has led to all sorts of our freedoms. 50% of your readers and viewers can only vote because of the suffragettes. I grew up in a time when homosexuality was illegal. Peter Tatchell was here earlier. It was only through his protest that we managed to overturn those horrible, impositions. And there's so much more work to be done.
Right. And are you concerned that this all started really with Suella Braverman a couple of years ago? Well, I mean before that, but it's I think a lot of people expected with the general election that we'd see sort of a sea change in that. But Yvette Cooper has sort of continued on the same path. Yeah. Are you worried about sort of just the escalation of where that goes?
I mean, to say that I was gravely disappointed would be an understatement of some magnitude. I expected, whoever, Yvette Cooper, to come into that role and immediately, say we're not going to uphold that appeal against the Liberty case. Liberty took a case against Suella Braverman's, what should we say, tinkering about with the 2022 Act. They won that case. The previous government, the Conservative government, issued an appeal. The Labour government are now upholding that appeal. Frankly, I didn't vote for that, and I don't imagine a large number of other people voted for that. We wanted to see a progressive government coming in which would retain that enshrined right for our non-violent direct action. And after all, we've got Keir Starmer as a Prime Minister. He's a man with, what can I say, not to be underestimated, legal background. Yeah. And in the past, he has advised, not necessarily, advocated for, but advised climate protesters, right. Greenpeace in the past. Yeah. He was effectively, he was instrumental in getting them off.
So I guess in light of that, what do you think this sort of his U-turn on the Heathrow Airport expansion, what do you think that suggests about where his priorities are at now?
It's just shocking. I mean, it's like they were asleep at the wheel. I mean, were they not watching California burn? Have they not seen, the storm that just devastated parts of Ireland, Northern Ireland and Scotland? I mean, did they not read the science at the beginning of the week that said that, those sorts of events are 35% more likely to happen due to climate breakdown? Are they not concerned about the fact that, I'm not going to get flood insurance in my house because I live within X, kilometres of a river? The impact of climate breakdown is already, if they're just into money and growth and all that business, is already costing trillions of pounds a year to deal with. Look at the suburbs of Los Angeles. Who could come up with a figure to rebuild that? And who's going to get fire insurance if they do? It's here. They've got to deal with it. They just haven't got they're not bold enough and brave enough to tell the public that this is going to come at a cost, but it's not a problem, it's an opportunity. Right. We don't need to invest in more fossil fuels and more airport runways. We need to invest in a renewable energy sector which could generate jobs and be sustainable, and we could be world leaders. Show some gumption.
Right. So currently, I think as we're speaking, there's a debate in Parliament about proportional representation. Do you see those sorts of democratic solutions as alternatives, ways for people to get their voices heard?
I'm 63 years old, and I've been politically aware since I was probably about, 12, 13, 14. My father was very keen on us being politically aware. Proportional representation, it's still a dream in my lifetime. People always always say they want it until they have the power to give it, and then they don't want it because they have the power to lose it.
Right.
I mean, of course it would be better. We all know that would be a more democratic way, a fairer way of generating the sorts of politics that we require, but I just don't see it happening, sadly.